Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Jaime Fuego.
And we are here to review a movie we should have reviewed 6 months ago, or 8 months ago, whenever it came out. We saw it, we loved it when it came out. I actually watched it with Susie and producer Dave. Neither of them are here. They probably forgot the movie at this point anyway. But Fuego finally got around to seeing it, and so I rewatched it. We're finally going to talk about The Ritual, you guys.
Yes, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm a dumbass.
I purposely didn't review it because it's an awesome creature movie, and Fuego and I are kind of the creature fans on the channel, so I was waiting for his opinion, so fucking, what is it, Fuego?
The film is exceptional, man, and it's, it doesn't start off as a creature movie. There is some misdirect, which I thought was really cool, but more so than anything else, what makes this movie tick in a lot of ways for me was just the interplay between all of these dudes and just the underlining theme of guilt and just trying to shoulder the blame and the responsibility of the thing that happens in the opening scene of the film after the guys all leave the pub and stuff. And I guess it's really no point in spoiling stuff here since it's in the first couple minutes and the movie's been out for like how long now?
No point in not spoiling stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I meant. You guys know what I meant here. There's a robbery going down and, friend hiding behind one of the shelves and could have done something. Probably would have ended up getting killed just like the friend did. We wouldn't hand over his wedding ring and stuff like that. So the fact that it wasn't just a Blair Witch ripoff craziness in the woods, the fact that it wasn't just a creature movie, this was a very layered film that had a lot going on, between the interpersonal drama and just it made it that much more interesting when things get really crazy, which they do.
Yeah. Basically what happens is when the friend dies, they were all deciding on a trip to take together. They all go on a trip every year. They've done Amsterdam, they've done this, they've done that. And one of their friends is like, we should go hiking on this trail in some foreign country. I don't know. Sweden, yeah. It's along the lines of the Appalachian Trail here in America. So they decide to take this trip in honor of their friend. And
none of them wanted to go on it when he suggested it.
Yeah. So it's actually really interesting because they cut right from the scene where the friend gets killed, and they do it as though it's a nightmare of our main character as he wakes up on the trail. So there's very little wasted time in this movie.
Oh, it goes for it.
Next to none, really. It just moves and boom, you're in it. And so they're walking, they say goodbye to their friend on the trail, touching moment. And actually there's a really funny line of dialogue. They've been
pouring
walking
the booze
up
out
hills forever. And that was a gag too. They obviously refilled that to cut back to it because it was so much booze coming out.
Going and going and going. They were even looking at it at one point like it's still going, huh? Okay.
But once they get up there, they start putting their gear down, and one of the friends, I don't even think the camera's on him, he just goes, "Fuck every hill in the world." It just made me laugh so hard. It set up this great atmosphere, and so they say goodbye to their friend, and they're trying to walk their way out, and one of their friends twists his knee.
Yep.
And so they decide, what are they going to do? It's like a 14-hour hike out the way they came in, or they could cut it in half by going straight through the woods. Classic setup. I mean,
yep.
It is a very tropey setup, but it is what it is. It's not, in this case, it's not the size of your trope, it's what you do with it.
Yeah, and you use the proper word classic, though. It's a classic trope, in my opinion, because it is genuinely scary. One of the first things I remember when I was a very little kid visiting my grandparents in upstate New York was looking into the darkness of the woods and being genuinely scared of what could be lurking in there. You know, it's a common fear, and I think it's a lifelong fear for a lot of people, too.
Absolutely. So, so they cut through the woods, and pretty rapidly they find the disemboweled
bear carcass, right?
And splayed out carcass. Yeah. I don't know if it was a deer, or a bear, or a buck. It might have been just a giant buck. I'm not sure.
It was some gross practical, though, dude.
Yeah, it was.
Really
it had been
crazy.
splayed out, and it was still dripping. That's the thing. They're like, it's
fresh.
Still dripping. Whatever did this is probably still around. We should go. And so the first night, they find this shack because they haven't gotten their way out. They're kind of lost. And they're starting to get at each other's throats.
Yep.
So they get into this shack, and then the next morning, our main character is having these nightmares about the day his friend died.
And the way that they shot those scenes was dope, dude.
Because he's in the woods, and so he suddenly, all these fluorescent lights start turning on, like in the middle of trees. And then you see this path, and he goes, and it like turns into the store. the production value in those moments
big time
was so good. And
I think throughout the whole movie,
oh,
personally.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's so lent to the credibility of this sort of dreamlike state and the fact that this creature makes you see stuff. Like, it hypnotizes you. Like the time later on when the guy sees his wife. And then he snaps out of it and the thing's just like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
or also the scene where the guy was like having a waking dream sort of thing and he was praying to the weird, like, that thing was genuinely
to
creepy.
the witch thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, they go, and the next night they end up getting attacked, and one of their friends runs afoul of the creature. And
they find him looking just like that animal from
like
before.
Animal, all splayed out and everything. So it becomes, an attempt to escape while the creature that they now know is there is chasing them.
Which they jaws it for a long time, but once the reveal finally goes down, holy shnikes.
Yeah, and then that's the nice thing. That's what I was worried about. They do for a long time only show you glimpses very effectively, but once you finally get the creature in the last part of in the back half of the third act, you get a good amount of it. And in fact, it even shows you it lit up from behind by a house on fire. It was such dope cinematography.
It was a great shot. It really was. And I thought the creature looked good, whether it was practical or CG, because they used a blend of both, dependent upon the scene. So close-ups looked like they were practical to me, especially. Dude,
the weird face.
It was sick. The weird mushing of just like human, but also like deer-like, and like just all these different things like mushed together. It was nightmare fodder. It genuinely was. And I also like the fact that we eventually did get some background about the fact that there were other people in the woods, these like aborigines type people.
Even creepier. No, I don't even think they were aborigines. I think they were real, regular humans that just were marked. And couldn't get out.
Like what they wanted to happen with him at the very end. Because he had so much heavy on his heart, they said.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but they get prolonged life, which also leads to an awesome scene.
Where he finds all of the
chanting,
Well, also where he finds all of those like shriveled corpses.
That's what I'm saying. The chanting is, he hears the chanting from this room, and they're all like, "Whoa, whoa," like that kind of thing. And he goes in, and it all is silent when he walks in, and he sees all these corpses and things just lined up, and suddenly they start taking breaths and like moving and stuff, and it's like, this is what happens, because worshiping the creature extends your life. This is what happens when you keep worshiping the creature. Your life extends, but your body still breaks down. That's really creepy. So I guess we've gone all over the place.
We pretty much spoiled most of the movie.
The story's great. Acting's great.
Yeah, acting was especially great, and the interplay between the character who is giving so much just grief and ire to the guy, it made sense that to the person who wouldn't do anything, I should specify. The fact that it ended up being the two of them left at the end definitely made the most sense and added so much more emotional heft to just the climax of this film, and just everything coming full circle. And when he was like, "You're going to survive, and you're going to go, and you're going to tell my wife," you know, and so on. I mean, really emotionally charged stuff. The performances were great throughout, but they just really revved up as the tension and the paranoia got worse and worse.
I love the ending, the emotionally charged ending too. Yeah, just so good. Just
screaming
so good.
back at it.
Primal scream. Like, you didn't get me.
Yeah.
So good, dude. Yeah.
And yet it toyed with him at the end. It just because it wanted him to be one of
him to kneel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really great.
As opposed to killing him like the other guy.
Slams him back down. Yeah. Forces his head into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that's dope. It was just
cool
such a really, really great movie.
Yeah.
I'm so again. When I knew I wanted to rewatch it, I went to buy it on Amazon. You can't.
Yeah.
It's exclusively
it's a
Netflix
exclusive. Yeah.
It's a bummer because I want all the special features. I want the behind the scenes. I want the making of.
I saw this was produced by Andy Serkis. It makes me wonder. It wasn't executive produced. It was produced. So it makes me wonder the extent of his involvement. It was based on a novel, as I saw in the credits.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It kind of makes me want to read the book, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I love the. So mocap, obviously it's a circus thing.
I think they probably did.
The mocap was so good.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they put like additional appendages on a person.
I don't know.
Had them crawl around, especially since it did have the humanoid kind of face thing going on at certain points. I mean, like I said, this movie has so many interesting layers to it. It's a creature movie. It's a paranoid, like, is there an evil presence in the woods movie? It's a drama with some serious weight to it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. I'm going to just go out and say it.
Well, it's of last year, but okay.
Well, was it of last year?
Yeah, it was 17.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, we'll double check. I think it's 2018. Huh?
We'll double check, but yeah.
Here in America, at least.
I will say it's the most unique creature I've seen in a long, long, long time. I mean, even A Quiet Place, those creatures, they were part
cool,
Resident Evil, part Cloverfield creature.
It was stuff we'd seen before.
This is nothing like nothing I've ever seen before.
Same.
Yes, it's got a deer sort of base.
Yeah.
But that's just the body, and it's a huge, massive, like with spinal ridges coming out the back. Like the design on the creatures, top notch, man. So good.
Yeah, I think everything about the movie was top notch and so good, and I hope it was 2018. I want to say it was on the festival circuit in 2017.
I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Netflix Ritual release. I'll check right now. Any final thoughts while I look, though?
Final thoughts. You definitely. I'm eating my words. This is one that I was curious about seeing, but just never completely got around to.
No matter how many times I told him to.
Well, I mean, that's the thing here on the horror show when we have so many things to watch and the list just piles and piles and piles and piles and piles and piles and piles. Yeah, I watched this while I was editing one day, and
2017 film.
Interesting. Well,
boom.
Sorry.
You won't be able to put it on your list, Fuego.
I see it on all these lists for people for 2018, though, so maybe.
Initial release, October 13th, 2017, United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Let's see what the other one is. More about this
I guess
movie.
we're going to find some clarification here, but yes, don't be a Fuego in this situation. If you're sitting and watching this and for whatever reason you've gone through our whole spoiler review and know most of the big details about this movie already, it's still worth watching because of those dramatic scenes that I mentioned, because you want to see this creature in action. I mean, it really has a lot of great stuff going for it. So, yeah, top to bottom.
Netflix February 9th.
Yes.
But premiered September 2017 at TIFF.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Released in the UK on October 13th. So.
It counts for us in America as 2018.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you mostly because it's going to go on my list too then.
Yeah, it's damn good. You need to watch it even if you've sat and had everything spoiled by us just now. So.
Yeah, it's still a sight to behold, guys. So
it is.
Thank you very much for watching. Sorry this review is so late. Obviously since February, but thank you guys very much for watching.
I'm sorry, guys.
I appreciate you guys sticking through the review. Come down to Game On Expo next year if you want.
Yeah, next year.
We had to record it here at Game On Expo because we film Sundays and we're here today, so that's why the background.
Hope you enjoyed, getting a look at everything behind this. This was a very fun event, and it kind of doubled in capacity, or at least grew in capacity this past year. So, yeah, keep a lookout for it August 2019, provided it returns. But based on the growth that we've seen, I think it will. So.
Absolutely, and not only that, but I got to interview Black Nerd Comedy's Andre one more time, so do a follow-up there. Stay tuned for that. But thanks, guys, very much for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of The Ritual, or if somehow you have not seen it yet, will you go watch it now? Until then, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, Jaime, Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.